Okay, so let's start with a really important topic, and that is campaign structure. Now, campaign structure is a big problem because most ad accounts and campaigns are a complete mess. Just what you're seeing in this picture here, a complete mess. That's what I see very often when I look at ad accounts. So it's really important that you have a really clean structure when you run Facebook ads, especially if you try to scale and if you don't run one campaign only, but if Facebook is going to be your primary focus, no matter whether you're an affiliate marketer or a media buyer inside a company, or you have your own business, e-commerce shop, for example, and you want to scale that. So campaign structure is important. The only big question is, what does a clean campaign structure really look like? Well, essentially, there are two different philosophies. Philosophy number one is, so if you look at what you're seeing here at the screen, you see the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. That's how every campaign on Facebook is built, no matter what your campaign goal is. So on the campaign level, you're essentially telling Facebook what you want: leads, traffic, conversions. You want to promote your event, for example. On the ad set level, which is the heart of a Facebook campaign, you select and specify things like the targeting, budget, and scheduling and placement. And then last but not least, you have the ad level, which is the actual creative, the ad that a Facebook user is going to see at the end of the day, right? So with philosophy number one, you have the campaign level, then you have underneath that campaign one or multiple ad sets, and underneath one ad set, you have only one ad. You do not have, and that is really important, multiple ads. You have only one ad underneath one ad set. And that's a big difference if we compare philosophy number one to philosophy number two. Again, you have the campaign level, you have one or multiple ad sets, and then you have multiple ads underneath one ad set. You do not have one ad only, you have multiple ads. And here's the big difference. So essentially you have those two philosophies, and the big question is, what are the advantages of philosophy one and what are the advantages of philosophy number two? And yeah, what is the philosophy that you should go with? So let's look at philosophy number one first, which is the one ad per ad set structure. So with this campaign structure, you're getting more granular results, because according to Facebook, this structure is more in line with how their algorithm works, because you test one variable at a time only. And two, the algorithm makes statistically relevant decisions with that structure. Because here's the thing, with multiple ads per ad set, Facebook favors one ad over the other very quickly. And unfortunately, this decision isn't statistically relevant because that decision is being made after a few hundred impressions. So let's say you have 3 or 4 ads within one ad set. So Facebook is pushing all of those ads, but even if you're going for large audiences, after a few hundred impressions, Facebook thinks, okay, this one ad, like ad number 1, will do much better than ad number 2 or 3 or 4, for example, right? So the results that you're getting are not statistically relevant because maybe you had bad luck, or maybe you just had good luck with ad number 1. So that's why Facebook marketers who follow philosophy number 1 say this is the main reason why you should have only one ad set per ad. So isolating variables like statistical insignificance. And then we have philosophy number 2, which is the multiple ads per ad set strategy. This is the strategy that we recommend, and this strategy is also called and referred to as the throw shit against the wall and see where it sticks method. So with this strategy, you have mainly 3 advantages. Number 1, you can test a lot more ads and faster. It's pretty annoying especially if you want to test like 20, 30, 40 different ads, then you have to create 30, 40 different ad sets, which hold only one ad. That is a little bit frustrating. Number 2, isolating variables should happen in the optimization phase, not in the launch phase. And 3, This strategy works much better with higher budgets and small audiences because, with one ad per ad set, frequency can become a big issue. And the reason is that one ad will get displayed to the same audience multiple times very quickly if your audience is very small. And if the frequency goes up, that means that you will see a drop in the relevance score, and you will also see increasing CPCs. And therefore, it's better to have multiple ads within an ad set as a backup, right? So Facebook doesn't necessarily have to display this one ad only, but it can kind of auto-rotate different ads in case frequency becomes an issue. That doesn't mean that that's the way to combat ad fatigue. You still have to work on new creatives and upload ads constantly, but still the risk of an increasing frequency is not as high here as with one ad per ad set. And if you want to follow this strategy, which I again highly recommend, then you should have at least 3 ads per ad set. So strategy number 2 is recommended, but you can also go for strategy number 1. Of course, if you're a big fan of that and you think, okay, the arguments there are more compelling, this is what we do. No matter what strategy that you want to follow at this point, you should just decide whether you want to stick to philosophy number 1 or philosophy number 2, and then just build your campaigns accordingly to that.